Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 580 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Heidi, and it's so good to be with you guys. It's awesome to know we're part of a community that really are just wanting to be more intentional in their lives, which goes a long way in limiting the overwhelm that is super easy to feel right now. And if you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I publish twice a week, and episodes are mostly 15 minutes or less. So be sure to hit the subscribe button or follow the show so you're notified every Monday and Friday when they come out. I'm really grateful for you guys. Okay, so does anyone else feel like the world is moving at warp speed sometimes? Do you feel that way? Between news cycles and social media and our own to-do list, it's like we're all sprinting to keep up. Just the other day, I was on X and I saw a post that said, "Why does it feel like everyone's doing more than me?" I had to stop for a second because I felt really seen in that post because I felt that way. Like I'm supposed to be launching a new project, mastering a new skill, and posting a perfectly curated life update, all before I've even had breakfast. But here's the thing, that pressure to keep up, it's a trap. I mean, I've started realizing that slowing down really does feel like the way to feel really good about my life. The other thing is to realize that when I see people online that seem ahead of me, I'm comparing myself to a fictional idea of what the person wants me to think about their life. Could we be feeling behind because we have created this idea of what success is based on what our mind has created due to too much content and how we automatically create in our minds that the girl with the perfect design post also has a perfect design business to go along with it. And doing that leaves us feeling inadequate when we have no idea what's behind that post. And it doesn't matter anyway. But it is frustrating, isn't it? I mean, this feeling that we're always behind. I hear a lot of people say it, but behind according to what? Like the faux standards of Instagram? And I get it. I've been there as an interior designer and a podcaster. I mean, I see the other interior designers and podcasters all over the place online, and most of them seem like they have everything figured out and like they're super successful. And I'm over here sometimes looking at that thinking, am I doing this wrong? So I never even stop to think that someone else might be looking at what I'm doing, thinking the same thing. See, we're bombarded with this idea that we need to be everywhere, doing everything, doing all the things that the other people are doing at the same time. And if we aren't, we're behind or something is wrong with us. Social media isn't helping that. Posts on X show people launching startups and traveling the world or looking like everyone has it together. But what we don't see is the behind the scenes, like the late nights, the doubts, the trade-offs. So here's a little reality check. Nobody does it all. I mean, the post you saw about someone's perfect morning routine, they probably didn't show the part where they spilled coffee on their yoga mat or forgot to feed the dog, or the morning before where they didn't do their perfect morning routine. But the pressure to keep up is real, but it's also an illusion. And the sooner we let go of that, the more space we create for what actually matters. So how do we break free from this cycle of feeling behind all the time? How do we stop measuring our worth against someone else's highlight reel? I've been thinking a lot about this. I've thought a lot about this for a long time. And I want to share 3 practical steps that have really helped me shift my mindset and live more intentionally. And these aren't just like little fluffy ideas. They're things that you can start doing today to feel more grounded and focused and honestly happier. So first of all, we have to get clear on what success actually means to us. Do we know what success looks like in our opinion? I had a friend ask me at one point, she said, how do you be happy? How can I be happy? And I said, well, you have to know what happiness looks like. Do you know, what does happiness look like for you? And she thought about it and she was like, I don't really know. So if you don't know what success actually looks like to you, you may be there and you don't even know it. So you want your version of what it means, not what X or Instagram or your neighbor's cousin thinks it should be, but what feels true to you. So I used to think success as an interior designer meant having a feed full of perfectly styled rooms and this awesome business where everything is just perfect and I have a wait list of clients. But when I really sat down with myself, I realized that success for me is about creating spaces that make people feel at home and having time for my family and enjoying the process without feeling burned out all the time. That's my version of success. It's not flashy, but it's mine. So if you want to find out what that success looks like to you, maybe grab a notebook or even the Notes app. I use it all the time. It's a Notes app on your phone, and write down 3 things that make you feel fulfilled. Not things that you think you should want, but things that genuinely light you up. I mean, maybe it's spending time with your kids or finishing a project you're proud of, or even just taking an hour to read a book without interruptions. You see, when you're clear on what matters to you, it is so much easier to tune out the noise of everyone else's perfect lives. You're not behind, you're just on a different path, and that is totally okay. So the second step is to be really ruthless about what you let into your brain. I know I talk about this all the time, but social media and the news and even the conversations you have with other people, they really do shape how you feel about yourself. I notice that and I've talked about this too, where when I'm scrolling on X a lot or maybe a little bit too much, I start feeling anxious and also like I wasn't doing enough because all these people are doing more successful in my mind, because that's what I'm seeing. But when I unfollowed accounts that made me feel inadequate, and it's, for whatever reason, and then I started following people who inspired me without making me feel less than, it was a real big game changer. I mean, we're more connected than ever, but that also means we're drowning in information. I came across a study recently that said that the average person consumes the equivalent of 174 newspapers worth of information every single day. No wonder we feel overwhelmed. So maybe try to do a quick audit of your social media and scroll through X or wherever you hang out and notice how each account makes you feel. I mean, if someone's post leaves you feeling like you're not enough or like it makes you want to jump off a bridge or something because they're so negative, why don't you just unfollow that person? It's much easier to do that. And it's not personal, it's self-preservation. So maybe replace them with accounts that spark joy or teach you something useful. Maybe it's a designer sharing a real unfiltered behind the scenes of their process, or a podcaster talking about mental health in a way that resonates. So curate your feed like it's your mental garden. Only let the good stuff grow. And then finally, this is my favorite one, and it's probably the most one that is probably counter to everything you hear. And that's slow down on purpose. In a world that is obsessed with hustle and productivity hacks, choosing to slow down almost feels a little bit rebellious. But here's the truth. You don't have to do it all, and you don't have to do it all now. When I started giving myself permission to focus on 1 or 2 things at a time instead of trying to juggle everything or trying to reach this unsurmountable amount of things that I had planned for myself, I was amazed at how much I enjoyed my work and my life. There's this concept that I love, and it's called monotasking. It's the opposite of multitasking. So, I mean, to be honest, usually it just means doing 5 things badly at once because you can't be good at 10 things if you're trying to do everything, right? You can't be really great. But with monotasking, you give your full attention to one thing at a time. So for example, when I'm designing a client space, I try to block out distractions. I don't have the music on. It's distracting for me. I know some people like to work to music, but I don't check X. I don't answer emails. It's just me and the design project and maybe a cup of coffee. And also my little snoring puppies who usually try to sit near me, and I love that. But it's not a distraction. It actually calms me down. But it's incredible how much more creative and present I feel when I do that. And the best part is it spills over into other areas of life. So when I'm with my friends or family, my family was with me. My mom and dad and Heather came and visited me last week, and they were here for a couple days, and I noticed that I didn't pick up my phone almost at all. Like I wasn't even on my phone, and It felt so good to be present and just focus on them instead of having to try to multitask. Or maybe you just want to try eating lunch without your phone or working on a project with no interruptions for 30 minutes. You notice how it feels to give that one thing your full attention. I bet you'll find it's more productive and also more satisfying. So I often have people with my experience, like what I'm doing, they'll ask me like how many listeners I have for my podcast, or maybe I see podcasts that grow so much faster than mine. And it causes me to think, oh, I should be doing more to promote it. But when I start to do the doing more or the promoting part of things, which takes a lot of time in my life, I start falling behind on the other things. And that doing more is not bringing me joy. I mean, I find a lot of joy in just creating each episode and delivering it the best way I can. And for now, that's where I find my joy. So I'm content and happy to just continue creating episodes that mean something to me. And I hope that you enjoy them. And maybe it makes your life a little bit better too. Instead of putting pressure on myself to try to get as many followers as Joe Rogan. At the end of the day, the goal isn't to keep up with the world's pace. It's to set your own. You don't have to be everywhere doing everything to be enough. You are already enough just exactly the way you are right now. And when we let go of comparison and we get clear on what matters to us and we give ourselves permission to slow down, then we actually create space for joy and creativity and maybe a little more real connection. And that's what a wildly successful lifestyle looks to me. Not a perfect Instagram grid, but a life that feels good from the inside out. And that's my challenge to you today, is to ask yourself, am I setting my own pace, or am I allowing the world to set it for me? There's a peace that comes with being okay, knowing you're exactly where you're supposed to be and things are working in your favor. And sometimes we block that peace because we're trying to pace ourselves with the seemingly unusually driven influencer we see on Instagram. Live the life you're meant to live, and you'll know you're doing that if you feel a sense of peace. It even feels good just saying that. Imagine how good it would feel to live it. Share this with 3 people who want more peace in their lives. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.